So one of the questions that I received was how to find mentorship. And I'm assuming it's in the context of your walk with God. And so I think the very first thing you should ask yourself is, are you putting yourself in a position to be mentored? And there's a quote that's not really biblical, but it's pretty facts, which is, when the student appears, the teacher arrives, or something like that. And it's so true, because if you are truly hungry for God and seeking the Lord, then opportunities are going to come up where mentors are going to arrive. So the question is, are you going to church? Do you have a church that you're going to weekly, and not just on Sundays, but you're involved? You're going to events, you're serving, you're in a small group, you're involved, you're actively involved. It's kind of like dating and finding your husband, wife. It's like you can't expect to find someone when you're just at home doing nothing but just being in solitude. And so same thing with this. Gosh, that's really right. You got to make sure you're putting yourself out there. Another question to ask yourself too is, are you open to mentorship? Because having a mentor is going to create that extra level of accountability, which can be very uncomfortable. It can be very uncomfortable. But if you are truly hungry for the Lord and you have the fear of the Lord and you're seeking growth, then yeah, a mentor will be an amazing opportunity. I think it's very important to have three types of people in your life as you're walking through your walk, right? Number one is having someone that you can learn from, someone that is more mature, has more experiences, all the things, a mentor, right? Then you have people that are around you that are quote unquote on the same level. You guys are just keeping each other accountable, fellowship, learning from each other, all the things, confess to one another. Then you have people that are, you're just ahead of your walk than them, right? Maybe they just gave their life to Jesus. Maybe they are learning the basics, X, Y, and Z. And you can guide them, you can teach them. So we need all three. We need to be pouring into people, and we need to be poured into. But if we're not putting ourselves in the position and doing the basics of getting out there and positioning yourself, then here's another thing I'll say too, and this is what Tim Ross talks about. Some people will reach out to him or other pastors, other well-known leaders in the church, and want to get mentored by them, but you're skipping all the people that are already in your proximity. That older man, that older woman that's in your church, in your small group, in your church, in your community, that can be teaching you so much, but just because that they don't have the quote unquote pastoral title or title in general, you kind of stray away from them. So don't cut yourself short and try to skip steps. Wherever you're at right now, ask the Holy Spirit to show you and to highlight someone that can be teaching you, and asking them. Some people are open to mentoring people. Some people aren't in the space for it. I'm not taking it personal if it's not, but if you pray, you ask God, God's going to guide you to that person. And then ask yourself, who can you be a mentor to? Even if it's just the basics of, hey, this is how you join a small group, or hey, this is a cool worship playlist, right? So we can all help each other in this walk.